Hi guys! Back with another video. Today we'll be doing Am I the Asshole again? Our first story begins, Am I the asshole for ruining my family vacation because of my period? I, 15 female, just got back from going around Europe for 2 weeks with my parents and two younger brothers, 11 and 13. A few days before our flight home, I got my period and it was bad. Being already tired from traveling and being away from home didn't help my nausea, cramps, and no energy. To make it worse, we had a full day of walking and sightseeing planned ahead of us. I asked my mom if I could just stay at the hotel and rest, as I was in pain and really couldn't be asked for any of it. She told me she knew it wasn't pleasant, but to try and push through as we only go abroad once a year, and she didn't want me to ruin the vibe. It was awful. We spent the morning climbing up this hill to see a view of the city from a church, and my brothers the whole way through kept complaining about me needing to take breaks frequently to sit down, while my parents just basically let them, didn't tell them to shut up. What really pissed me off was them loudly embarrassing me in public in a restaurant about how many bathroom breaks I needed, and they kept telling me I was killing the mood. Off topic, but those free street bathrooms in Paris are nasty. When we got back to the hotel, I got into a massive argument with my mother and said a few things I admit were out of line, and I regret that. She told me to remember how much money it had cost for all of us to take this trip and told me to be grateful. The final day of our trip came, and she finally let me stay at the hotel and rest. I know my parents worked really hard for us to go on vacation, and I was a bit rude to her, but I was in pain, and I feel like everyone could have at least tried to pretend to give a shit about me. Which the first comment says, not the asshole. You clearly communicated to your family you needed rest, and they insisted you push through all the while knowing that you were feeling unwell, then gave you a hard time about being unwell. It is not your fault for not performing to their ideal, especially with painful period. Sometimes we just can't mask. Your family sucks for their lack of empathy. Side note, make sure your doctor knows how painful and debilitating your periods are. Debilitating periods are actually not normal. Somebody says, not the asshole. That sounds like you get a bad menstrual cycle if it's painful enough to keep you from sightseeing. Have you ever been taken to a doctor about it? There's medical conditions like endometriosis that make periods extremely debilitating, and they shouldn't be. Somebody agrees with them, saying, Your period pain is severe enough to impact daily life, it's absolutely worth seeing a doctor. Conditions like endometriosis or PCOS are real and treatable. Your pain shouldn't be dismissed or normalized. You deserve care, not guilt. Another person points out, for one, financial situation is not your problem and should not be used against you. Also, only going abroad once a year is quite a statement, too. Most people don't go abroad ever. You'll get to have more experiences next year, and hopefully your period won't make an appearance. If it's something you're interested in, you can look into different birth controls to help with symptoms. Sorry your family treated you like that. And yeah, it completely makes no sense for their family to insist that they come along and then make fun of them the whole time when they didn't want to be there in the first place. They wanted their family to just enjoy the day and let them rest as two separate groups, and their family just wouldn't let them. And I don't understand why. OP is definitely not the asshole here, and I agree that they should probably talk to a doctor about it, but also just going on a trip can be really tiring, and they might not want to be running around all day while having cramps. They should be allowed to just bundle up at home and relax instead of needing to go on a huge family vacation multiple days in a row. That sounds exhausting. Our next story is, Am I the asshole for calling my friend a good boy in front of his girlfriend? This might sound very stupid, and that's because it is. My friend, who I'll call Kyle, and I have been friends for a while now. We are both guys in our mid-20s. While I like spending time with him, he does have one annoying bit that he does constantly, which is calling people good boy. For example, if he drops a pen on the ground and I give it back to him, he will call me a good boy for picking it up for him. Similarly, when he asks for something from me and I do it, he will again call me a good boy. I rolled my eyes at this at first, but it has truly gotten frustrating over time. I sometimes tell him to shut the fuck up, and when I do, he does for a while, to start again a while later. 2 days ago, we were hanging out at a friend's place as a group, including Kyle and his girlfriend, who I'll call Mia. Now, Kyle, Mia, myself, and another friend were a bit more separate from the main group to help Mia go over some questions, as she has a driver's test at the end of the month. We were trying to be helpful, but at the same time talking amongst each other, so we got a bit distracted. That's why Mia wanted Kyle to sit down next to her and go over the questions with her. The first time she asked, it went over his head, but the second time she was a bit firmer when she asked, so Kyle went over and sat down. Seeing this, I couldn't help myself and said, "Yeah, sit down like a good boy." From looking at him, I could see he was angry. He didn't say anything except grumble to himself, but was also colder to me throughout the day. I talked to the friend who was there about how he did the same thing all the time, but the one time someone did it to him, he couldn't take it. He told me that I was being kind of an asshole because he had never done it to me in front of a partner before, which is fair enough, I guess. And now that I think about it, it probably wasn't that I said it, but that Mia started laughing when I did. Still, I don't think I'm an asshole for it, but again, I am biased towards myself, so I might be wrong. What do you think? Am I the asshole? We have a pretty mixed response here. One person says, oh wait, no. Actually, OP adds more context before we get into the comments. He does it around other mutual friends as well. This wasn't the first time I said it back to him. There have been a couple more times too, but those times were just the two of us and they had a much lighter tone. Kyle sometimes does it in a smooth and light tone, and sometimes does it in a more loud, aggressive tone. This was the first time that I said it in that same aggressive tone. I don't know if I was able to explain it well, but I hope I did. And now we get into the comments, responding directly to that more context. It's actually a good thing that this time he said it that way and it got to him. Tell him that this is how it feels for others to hear, so you don't want to hear any whining from him about it. It's not meant to be pleasant to hear when he says it, so why is he so surprised when he doesn't like hearing it? But it's different. No, it isn't. Another says, oh, well, I have noticed that guys like to joke about each other's manliness and masculinity in various ways with their friends, like your good boy bit or being a coward, etc., whatever. But I'm guessing his reaction is more of him disliking you emasculating him with your running friend joke in front of his girlfriend and her laughing with you guys. I'm assuming you said that out of your impulse as a friend, not with the intention of embarrassing him in front of Mia specifically, so I would still say not the asshole, but maybe you've got some communication with Kyle to consider doing. Hopefully the bit will end if that's favorable to all parties. I don't know. Another person says, not the asshole. When he does it, it's meant as a subtle put down, which is why he reacted so strongly when the tables were turned. Another adds, not the asshole, but from the context, it doesn't seem like it's the good boy part that made him angry. It's that you were basically calling him whipped in front of his girlfriend. You could have just as well said, yeah, sit down like you're told, and it would have had the same effect, I think. It's nothing to do with his good boy meme, and more to do with the kind of insult you were leveling at him. Still, it sounds like it was just a joke, and if his girl laughed, he should lighten up maybe. It does sound a little meaner than a good boy when you pick up a pencil, though. But somebody else points out, not the asshole. I would bet money that he does this to Mia too, and that's why she found it so funny. And I would say that we're missing some context here, but I think that it's an everyone sucks kind of situation. Because on the one hand, it does sound like Kyle does this in front of their friend group in general, which would include Mia, which means that she is in on the joke and knows that it was a reference to that, rather than, as that one comment said, calling him whipped. But on the other hand, it is a very different context than, like, to say, sit down like a good boy instead of just good boy. Like, there's different levels there. So I think that it really depends on whether or not Kyle usually takes it to that different level or not. Because OP did say that Kyle sometimes says it with a more aggressive tone. I think that everybody sucks, and if the OP hasn't, I think that they need to, like, OP has said, like, fuck off, stop talking about this. But he's always said it in the moment. If they haven't had an actual conversation about it, I think that they need to. And then just aggressively dish it out if that doesn't help to anything. Hi guys, I just took a break and I've got a bit of a headache now, so if my recording quality or my voice is a little off, that's why. Am I the asshole for wearing a bathing suit I knew my aunt would be uncomfortable seeing me in? I, 18 female, go on an annual camping trip with my dad's side of the family. We go up, barbecue, gather sticks, swim in the lake, the usual stuff. But recently I've been dreading to go on the trips because my 50 female aunt always has a problem with what I wear. A little context, she's an amazing aunt when it comes to me and my brother, but I feel like she's always overly harsh on me. Maybe it's because I'm the last girl in my family. Who knows? But every single time I go anywhere, she always says, "You shouldn't be wearing that. It's too inappropriate. You're too young to be wearing stuff like that." Mind you, most things I wear are crop tops, and she's having a problem with it. It always makes me feel insecure about it, and it got to the point where I was overthinking what I should wear. I guess I overshared, but here's the thing I'm asking, am I the a-hole? I have a bathing suit that I haven't worn for a year. I bought it with my money last year, but never wore it because of what my family would say. But I decided to wear it because I really wanted to wear it before it doesn't fit me anymore. So we were getting ready to go to the lake. I changed, put on some shorts, but since it was hot, I just left my bathing suit top on. I went to get something from her area of her tent. Immediately, she asks me, "What am I wearing?" I say calmly that this is my bathing suit. She says to go back and put a shirt on, and to learn to respect yourself. It made me feel very insecure that she thinks I'm not respecting myself. She never said anything again, but she avoided me the rest of the trip. Now I'm wondering, am I the a-hole for wearing something I knew she would be uncomfortable in? I'm just sick of always thinking about what to wear and how others will react to it. So, am I the asshole? The first comment says, "It appears that she's the one that doesn't respect you." Politely let her know. She's welcome to her opinion, but you're not a child, and she's not in charge of what you wear. Oh, not the asshole. Another answers, "This was my thought too. I have plenty of respect for myself. The only one disrespecting me here is you. Your opinion on my clothing and body are unwelcome. Please don't comment on them again." Somebody else says, "I'm a strong believer that thongs/micro bikinis should not be worn on family vacations. If your swimsuit doesn't fall under any of those categories, then I say not the asshole. You're also 18, so you can wear whatever you want." Next time, I would tell her to keep her comments to herself or speak to your parents about it. Another says, "Definitely." Oh, wait, this is OP speaking. "Definitely, I agree with that. However, I don't own those things yet. Most of my bathing suits are hipsters." Somebody replies, "Not the asshole. Let her be uncomfortable. She can look away or leave if it bothers her that much. I believe respecting yourself also means knowing when you look good in something and showing it off. In short, fuck that noise and wear what you want." Another responds to, "Every time I go anywhere, she always says you shouldn't be wearing that." And says, "Not the asshole. Sounds like she'd have an issue no matter what you wore, so why bother caring? You do you and let her take care of her offended sensibilities." And I absolutely agree. Like, if the aunt's going to be upset no matter what you wear and she doesn't like your personal style, she's she's got no right to say that you are not respecting your body by wearing what makes you feel comfortable in it. That's really the end of that. You're not wearing anything actually inappropriate. She's just being picky because because you have a grown-up body now. Like you said that it started somewhat recently and that you've recently started having trouble with the annual trips. So that suggests that she just doesn't like that you have a grown-up body and are feeling comfortable in it. So definitely not the asshole. Keep wearing what makes you feel comfortable, and that is respecting yourself. Our next story is, am I the asshole for telling my dad I do not want to watch my siblings? So, I am a teenager, and when I was 11, my mom got pregnant with twins. I've never minded helping my parents watching after them, but I feel like this summer has taken it too far. They're toddlers now and have some developmental issues. They start school this year. I was offered $100 a week to watch them for 3 days during the work week all summer. In reality, I end up watching them almost the whole week. I haven't been getting paid, and every time I ask my mom to pay me, she never replies to my messages or says that money is tight right now, which I completely understand. Recently, it seems like I'm getting asked to watch them more and more, even while my parents are home. It feels like my mom would rather sit on our porch and smoke than watch them. She's never inside for more than an hour before she calls me to watch them, and she sits outside for 30 minutes to an hour. My dad's not much better. He's always on his phone or out fishing somewhere. He never seemed to like taking care of them much at all. Today, I told my dad I didn't want to watch them while he works outside and my mom sits on the porch smoking. He got mad at me and just told me to go back to my room. My siblings don't talk yet, so most of the day I sit in silence, and I feel like I'm losing my social skills. My parents always find a way to make me feel bad for not wanting to watch them. Am I the asshole? Edit. I feel as if I should add a bit more context. Both of my parents work fairly decent jobs, so it's not as if they don't have the money entirely. I can understand if the mortgage or bills need to be paid. The money was not my main concern in this post. My main concern was how they leave me to watch them, even if someone else or they are fully able to. I also feel as if this post made it sound like they don't watch them at all. They do watch them when I go to my room or leave somewhere. But to me, could just be me overreacting in my head and victimizing myself. I watch them more. For the twins themselves, they have seen doctors and specialists. They all say they're fully able to talk, but choose not to. Doctors believe that since they do not have any other children around their age to interact with, that it could be affecting this. Top comment says, not the asshole. They're using you to parent the children they created. If you can leave the house during the day, do it. Do you have any family members like grandparents who you can talk to that be on your side? OP answers that their aunt on their mom's side agrees with me that it's not right. She has offered multiple times to my parents to help watch them, but they refuse. And my only grandparents are on my dad's side, and they watch my siblings on the days I'm busy or the rare days I don't have to watch them. Another reply, not the asshole. This is called parentification. It's a form of abuse. You are raising your developmentally stunted siblings, something you are wholly unequipped for while your parents screw up. Helping out is one thing. Turning you into the de facto caregiver is a big problem. What sucks is that you're a minor and that puts you in a difficult position. How old are you? Do you have a job? OP answers again, I'm 15 and I was supposed to get a job this summer, but at the time it seemed this was easier since I can't drive yet. More advice, get an actual job and save, save, save. Create your own bank account and deposit it there. Do not let your parents know of its existence. Some banks have rules about letting minors have accounts, some don't. If you can't find a bank that will let you open an account, hide it in increments in several hiding places that you truly believe they will never look. In case they stumble upon some of it, you won't lose your entire stash if they take it. They convinced you not to search for a job under the pretense you would be paid $100 for 3 days a week of childcare. An incredibly low amount, by the way, especially for twins with special needs. Think about how many hours you've worked doing this per week and then divide 100 by that number. That's how much you've been making an hour. Outrageously low, isn't it? And you're working more days a week and not even getting paid at all. You've got to start planning for the future so when you're 18, you will not be financially forced to live with them. Edit. Oh, and if I think this is going where it might, your parents may, knowing you have a job, force you in some way, either through manipulation or violence, to give them the money. Tell them you're getting paid in cash. Tell them you're getting paid a significantly lower amount than what you actually are making. Let them steal that and stash the rest. You can cash checks at grocery stores, I'm pretty sure. I'm afraid they may be setting you up to be financially dependent, forced to be caregiver for your sibling rather than pursue your own future. This could go further than high school, and you should be able to go to college if you want, get your own place, and live your own life. Protect yourself, and you've got at least one person over here rooting for you. You'll be okay. Another adds, I definitely would tell them you won't watch the kids anymore until they start paying you. And I mean paying you for what they owe you. Make up an invoice, present it to the two of them. Tell them when they pay it up, you will go back to watching the kids. But you will also limit how much time you'll spend. They have those kids. You didn't. Those kids are their responsibility, not yours. And in spite of the fact that they get mad, there's nothing wrong with you speaking your mind. Just do it respectfully and not in anger. And that's our last screenshot for the day, so here's my thoughts on that. this situation absolutely sucks for OP. Absolutely sucks. As all of these comments have pointed out, they are a 15-year-old being put in charge of two developmentally stunted children, while there are at least 5 other adults capable of caring for these kids, some of whom actively want to but aren't being allowed to. These parents are monsters. And I really hope that OP gets to be in a better place. I really hope that these kids start getting more support because they're also going to be suffering by being raised by a 15-year-old. All 3 of these children are in a bad situation, and those parents need to step up. So that's the last story for today. I'm really proud to be uploading my 3rd video in a row on time, and I'll see you all on Saturday. Have a good week.